standing so beautifully there with the move bishop d3 and the knight coming to f5. Magnus might be preparing an exchange sacrifice. Simply, he's looking to play knight takes f6, and when knight does land on f5, he could sacrifice exchange. Again, a minute 40 seconds. I tell you, when you're at the board, you think your clock is ticking faster than it is.
Yeah, for sure. And sometimes you think you only been thinking for 2 seconds, and you look at the clock, and your 2 minutes is gone.
Yeah, right. Like what happened?
Yeah. So he really needs to.
Var jumped right in. We just saw the move rook g5. Your engine is saying +4. We're confused. We don't know why it's such a high valuation for white. So help us out. How?
It's +5 now, yes, sir.
+5.
But it's not easy to play. It's like there's still a lot of moves that you have to find. And, you know, let me show you, for example, this one variation here after rook g5. So bishop d3 needs to be played.
Okay.
I think this is a logical move to play. So now after bishop d3,
yep.
Let's say if you play the move king f8.
Which is very logical.
This is what he's going to play, the move king f8. And now you have to play knight takes e6.
Oh, that's hard.
And d takes e6, and then bishop takes h7. And this is the way you retain a big advantage, because now you're threatening to play queen b4 or queen c5 check. And at the end, there is a move queen d6. Because black is just one move away, so just to pick up that pawn on f6, then he's going to be very happy. But after queen d6, there is the move queen e3, attacking the rook, and you're winning the exchange in this variation.
But finding such precise moves
Knight
it's not easy.
E6
few
is
seconds
hard,
on the clock.
But at least from White's point of view, he started well. Bishop d3. He's eyeballing h7, just as you suggested. Take the pawn on h7. Stop the king from getting to the king side. But I find that move, knight takes e6, counterintuitive.
I would never
And
touch
queen
that.
e3, and follow it up with queen e3 after that.
Yeah.
Is
And
also
follow
very
it
important.
up with queen e3 as well. That is really tough. So king f8, knight takes e6, takes on e6, bishop takes h7, queen d6, queen e3. Give me the rook, give me the square h6, and that's why it's +5.
Yes, but white only has 50 seconds on the clock, so
50 seconds. That 3 minutes melted like that.
yeah. And none of these moves that Var was showing are intuitive moves.
Well,
so.
bishop d3, I can get behind that one. Now the question for black is, if king f8 and king g8 is a dead end, you start looking for alternatives. Var, alternatives for beside king f8.
b4 is another alternative here. Again,
Okay.
it's very important in a lot of these lines to blockade that diagonal.
Okay.
So
AB.
b4, ab.
Yeah.
And here you can play the move rook e5. Just to complicate the matters, Wojtaszek has only 50 seconds, so still a lot of pieces on the board, and you still have to navigate through some of the complications here.
Exactly.
After rook e5. Like, for example, here, the best move is rook c1.
Rook c1.
Not
Again,
rook
not,
e2?
not intuitive. Not
Like-
rook e2. What?
Rook
Yeah.
c to e2 seems so logical.
Yeah, let's say you play rook c to e2. You still have an advantage, but now it dropped a little bit. I can take on e2, and then after rook takes e2, I can play the move rook c8.
By the way, we did have, after the move bishop d3, Magnus did not play b4. He played rook e5. Excuse me, I'm just going to refresh my board.
And Wojtaszek immediately responded with knight f5.
So bishop d3, rook e5, knight f5, rook takes e1 check, queen takes e1 on the board, knight takes f6.
The pawn's
and
off.
Magnus got rid of this pawn that was clutching at his throat. Knight takes f6, and Var jump in. Has the assessment changed greatly? Queen b4.
Yeah, that's a great move now, threatening checkmate on e7. And
Checkmate in one is
forcing
always,
the move d6.
I mean,
After d6,
After
as serious
d6,
as
you
a
play the
heart
move
attack.
queen c3 now.
Oh, you don't play rook c6.
No, just queen
d6 on the board.
what's wrong with
rook c6 is also very strong.
Okay. 'cause
They're
that's-
both-
Because I thought that was the follow-up
Yeah.
to queen b4. You wanted to, but you say queen to c3 is even stronger.
Yeah, they're both very strong, actually. Queen c3, is attacking the knight on f6. And
So 2 great moves for white, but 30 seconds.
Yeah,
Let's see.
Radoslav is so close to beating Magnus Carlsen.
And he's got
But
2 great moves, and he's got to
He has
choose one of them.
25 seconds on the clock.
He's got to choose one.
I can't imagine how stressed and excited he is right
I
now.
can tell you, your heart is racing. You feel like
Oh, he played Queen C3. Great move.
Wow. Okay, VAR, jump in. Queen C3. That really puts a test
and
to
he
Magnus.
can play d4 maybe just to mix
Otherwise,
things up
Queen's
here.
going to H8, right?
Yes, Queen can go on
Queen
h8.
to H8. Teleporting to H8.
So he can play d4 and then knight takes d4
Yeah.
and play b4 is another idea, just to sacrifice a pawn to.
But Black's king looks awfully vulnerable after d4, knight takes d4. I don't see how d5, d4 really help.
Yeah, it's like
And
plus
Magnus
5
getting
here.
nervous here. Look at Magnus's clock.
Catching up, down to 45 seconds.
Whoa.
And do they get increment after move 60?
No, it's just they're playing on their
Oh, I think
increment.
that's for the blitz. I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they're just playing on their increment. Queen c3, knight d7.
Whoa.
You're
Isn't this-
inviting queen h8 check. What you said, teleporting to h8.
I smell checkmate. Queen H8,
Knight has to go drop
and then
back.
Queen F6.
He's done it. Queen h8 check. So let's
have
see.
Queen
Well,
B7.
I can't bring the other knight because that will
Mm-hmm.
only invite rook. So I have to go knight d7 to f8. Magnus
And Queen F6 now.
is behaving like, he doesn't want to play the only move on the board, which is knight d7 to f8. It's like, and queen f6, just as you suggested,
Queen
mate
B7.
one.
And how do we distract that queen?
Well,
I need a
rook
deflection
c6,
move.
rook c6, decoy.
Rook C6, Rook B6 could be it.
Rook c6, rook d6, rook
Seems like
c6.
there should
knight.
be a completely winning move here, but I don't see it.
10 sec. Knight. No.
Plays knight G6.
After queen f6, he played knight g6,
Now
defending.
Rook E2 maybe?
Oh boy,
wow.
you're channeling, channeling the players as knight g7 check. Threat. It's a killer threat. Knight g7 is a killer threat. What are we going to do about that?
Oh, Magnus down to 3 seconds.
2. It's over. There is
One?
just no move.
Wow, he made a move on 1 second.
Did he really? But knight
Yes.
f7 check is going to. He's going to lose all of his bits.
He's
Yes.
going to lose a piece now.
He
And-
resigns. Wow.
Sorry.
After knight G7, Magnus resigned.
Magnus resigned. Wow.
Great win for Radoslav.
Wow.